Hello and welcome. I'm excited today to dig into the topic of business storytelling in a market downturn. Times like these, it's easy to cut back, right? We've all been here before. It's Groundhog Day. It's going to happen again, right? The markets are going to recover and then the markets are going to have problems again. If that's the case, maybe we should think about things a little differently. Maybe we shouldn't get sucked into the same old narrative. Let's be objective about where we are and let's dig into what investing in a downturn looks like when it comes to your messaging and your communications. I'm not the only one to say this. Harvard Business Review, Craig Barrett, these are a couple of institutions and people that come to mind. The latter of which I remember presenting to an all hands at the turn of the millennia at Intel, just post bubble burst crash. There's this general fear in the market and of course uncertainty and doubt. Barrett told us that we were going to be building a new fab. Craig Barrett was CEO of Intel at the time, and he was referring to a fabrication facility, a chip factory. Think about your own investments. Would you prefer to sell your stocks and shares when they're high or when they're low? You can only truly lose money in the stock market when you sell in a dip. When is a good time to invest in the market? It's a good idea to have some liquidity on hand so that you can put money into the market when it's down. Blue chip corporations would be really great examples. Looking at the performance of some of those companies today. Qualcomm, for example. They actually hit their quarterly expectations with Wall Street, but saw a over 7% dip in share price. But they've got great dividends. If you've got Qualcomm stock, it's down, don't sell it, right? You might feel pretty bad about where it is today. Investing in a market downturn is a good idea. And that leads me to my favorite topic and the topic of storytelling, of communications, of messaging in your business. Look, business opportunities are always out there, even in a down market. Investing in your story can strengthen your business and your customer relationships. A market downturn can actually leave customers cash strapped. No surprises there, right? Forcing them to resist purchases. That can freak us out. That can cause us to cut back. But the reality is, it can be challenging to boost revenue when your customers are tight on cash. What about business communications? How does that actually fit into this? Strengthening your business communications and messaging is more important than ever when the market is down. Well, there's not lots of money flying around out there. Who is going to stand out? Is your company going to stand out? Are you going to fall into the background noise? All things being equal, you've got a great product or service, they've got a great product or service. Azure and AWS comes to mind, right? Who is standing out? Which brand is standing out? Clear brand message ensures that your story stands out from the crowd. A word to the wise, the stories you tell aren't necessarily about you. Now it can be, and we talk about that a lot at Go Narrative, how you want to be very careful about how you approach that. What I'm talking about here is when you choose to tell stories, are you choosing to tell stories that move the needle in the market? It gets better though. Any investment in your storytelling can improve your brand image. It can help you be a trusted source. And at times like these, when we're learning to budget again, turning your company into a trusted source can put you above the competition and stand out from the crowd. Harvard Business Review talks about investing in things like studying success cases, or as we like to say, case stories. They also talk about investing in your people, training. The reality is that it doesn't matter how great your product or your service or your customer support is, if people are not telling great stories about your company. It's a classic if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it scenario. There's an analysis from communications firm Porter Novelli, and they showed that 78% of consumers are more likely to remember purpose-driven companies. Demonstrating purpose is one of the best ways to get people to tell stories about your company. The best way to communicate purpose is through stories. Brand narrative or a strategic narrative where you've ensured that the purpose of your organization is codified so that it can feed into everything that you do, all of your communications, all of your training. There's a bonus to such investments, of course. They will pay off not just now, giving you that edge, but also in the long run. They're going to help you become more memorable. And if you're investing now and your competition isn't, when the market gets good again, you'll already be down the road. They've got to start their engines and start catching up. If you have a story with purpose, you have a strategic narrative, you're going to be able to inspire your audience. When you inspire your audience, you increase your likability. And guess what? We humans like to do business with companies and peoples that we like. So not only are you getting to a place where you're standing out above the competition, you're also doing that in a way that's going to feed into your likability and your company's likability. As for investing in your people, are they currently compelling storytellers? Could that saw be sharpened a little bit? Your employees, and not just those in PR and marketing, do the heavy lifting for your reputation in all their interactions. Are they raving fans of your brand? Are they on the same page with what you want them to be saying? Or are you leaving that up to the gods? Are you rolling the dice and hoping that the mandates and the product information is enough to get everybody on the same page in a way that is going to inspire your customers, increase your likability, and put you head and shoulders above your competition? Stories help us understand the world. They help us put ourselves in that world, and they help us communicate about that world. And when we tell stories about our world, just like the gossip effect, people can't help but sharing them. And if you're not trying to control that by investing in that and creating that compelling story, you're giving up that control. You're leaving it up to them, and they might not do the best job of it. In Go Narrative, we like to get our clients in a room, do some workshopping, and present them with a series of business challenges that need to be addressed. Topics like raising funding, influencing local government and politicians, building your brand reputation, improving your brand image, or even the classic, right? Conversions, converting those visitors into leads. And through that, develop the story that you can tell for each, all informed by the big story of your brand, your strategic narrative, making sure that you're getting your leadership team and therefore your organizations aligned on what those stories are. And then the training that comes out of the back of that. The training that isn't just about how to tell a story, not some kind of Hollywood hero's journey stuff, right? But how to tell business stories that will drive action. Then because you've done that workshopping and you've done those scenarios with the leadership team, you can then use those scenarios within the training itself and make it practical for your organization. And when you do that, not only do you create that alignment at a leadership level, you create that alignment across the whole organization. Everybody is committed to the same big story. Everybody is impassioned, excited to tell the story, and everybody's had the practice doing so. You have strong case studies, don't you? If not, that's another really valuable investment to explore. With a strong understanding of how to tell relevant stories, your team can effectively connect and resonate with your audience, right? Don't leave your employees hanging. Craft that strategic narrative, capture and tell customer stories and case studies, train your team, and you will be well on your way to masterfully out-communicating your competition. Remember, without a clear story about your brand, you leave the storytelling up to others. You roll the dice. So don't be afraid to invest in your story, even if the market has you scared. It's a totally natural feeling that you're experiencing. How are you approaching your story right now? Are you running into challenges? Have you done any of this stuff and have run into roadblocks? Reach out and let us know. Make sure your engine is firing on all cylinders and you're off down that road when the market recovers and you're even better positioned to capitalize on things as they get better. We make sure we put these up on the blog, so you've got even more detail down below that you can dig into, things like that Harvard Business Review and that study. We point to both of those hyperlinks within the blog. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to hear how you're doing your storytelling right now and how you're approaching your storytelling in this down market. Thank you for stopping by.